Hi, welcome to A Man for All Seniors. I'm your host, Pete Schroeder, and today we're going to be talking about another letter that we received in our series called Tales from the Caregiving Front. And this is where we get letters from the men and women who are in the trenches of caregiving, on the front line, so to speak. And we want to explore their different issues, not only their situations, but their solutions to the situation, how they solve the problem that they found themselves in. So we get these letters from all sorts of different caregivers with different types of relationships, different types of problems and issues that they have to face. Because we're all in this together, we all have similar problems, similar challenges, and they require some solutions. That means action. We can't just sit there and be victims. So we have a choice. We always have a choice and an option to take action, to figure out how to address our problems and then find solutions for them. So let's see what there is today. This is a letter from North Carolina. Here's the situation. Asking for help with Harry was not easy for me. I knew he was a handful, and I didn't want to put that burden on anyone else. Living with him for over 50 years meant I knew him. I knew how to talk to him, and I knew how to get him to do things that he didn't want to do. I would tell anyone now, don't wait until you're in a crisis. Get help or arrange for help before the crisis hits. I was lucky. My story has a good ending because in spite of my reluctance, I asked without even realizing it. So this is the setup of the situation. Someone is faced with these caregiving responsibilities, and she doesn't necessarily know how to ask for help, but she knows she should. So let's see what happened. Here's the solution. Our apartment is on the 4th floor, and the elevators are very slow. A nice young woman who I had never met before was waiting at the elevator one day when Harry and I arrived. We exchanged good afternoons, and Lydia told me she had just moved in from out of town. She liked Harry the minute she met him. Of course, Harry grinned at her and talked a blue streak. And when the doors opened, Lydia grabbed one of Harry's arm and I took the other, and she got off with us and walked down to our door. What could I do? I invited her in. We talked for an hour or so. She said she'd be happy to help whenever she could, and now has us over for dinner once a week at least. She stays with Harry while I get my hair done or have lunch with Lois on Saturdays. Harry loves it. Lydia seems to like it, and I love it too. What a difference she has made in my life, not to mention Harry's. Any help you can get to break up your week, to give yourself a breather, to let your Harry have some time with someone else, it's got to be a good thing. And sometimes you don't even have to ask. So that was a nice letter with a nice story, and a good ending to that story. And so here's what I'm going to offer you. Be open for assistance from your family, your friends, your neighbors, even a new neighbor like the story that we just heard. Help is all around if we're open for it. There's a lot of professionals and a lot of caring people out there who can help you in different ways. So the moral of this story, I guess, is to ask for help and be open for help, even when it appears and you haven't asked. So I hope you've enjoyed this letter. If you have any issues that you'd like to write about, put them in the format that you've just seen, where you have a situation and then you have a solution to the situation.
Hi. The video that you've been watching was created a few years ago. Obviously, I had a little more hair, and I did not have this lockdown growth, as I call it. However, the information in the video still applies today. In fact, it's more important than ever to take care of yourself if you're taking care of a loved one. With the quarantine going on and this pandemic, it's tough. We can't get out as much as we used to. We can't socialize like we used to, which is another important component of a healthy senior life. And it's just a challenge in new ways that we have to face when we're caregiving for a senior. And we're taking care of ourselves at the same time. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to send in, please send them to pete@peteschroeder.com, PETE@PETESCHROEDER.com, and I'll be happy to respond as quickly as I can to your questions and comments. Also, if you have a story to share, I'd love it if you'd put it in the form of a situation and then a solution. And we can add that to our Tales from the Caregiving Front, which is the series that we've been kind of accumulating over the years from real life stories from all over the country. So it's a pleasure to be with you again. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have any comments, like I said, please send them my way. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.